Drinking buddies. It's been quite a while since I've had Marco on, so I thought I'd bring him on here and we would do a what's the best ever Thomas Handy flight. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, so for the years we have 2014, and that one's coming in at 129.2. Then we have 2019, which is 125.7. And then we have 2022, which is 130.9. We have 2023, which is 124.9, and 2024, which is 127.2. The newest one. And this is one of my favorite whiskeys, as you guys know, as you know, Marco. And
yeah, it's a 6-year-old rye.
Barrel proof.
Normally is probably one of the better ending out ones from the entire btac.
I agree completely. I generally think that my three favorites tend to be the 3 barrel proof offerings.
Yeah. So maybe this year the 18-year was actually
really good.
Good.
Really good. I tend to think that the Eagle Rare 17 is usually the one that I feel is my least favorite.
My least favorite.
Yeah,
especially
but still a great whiskey. It's just
a good whiskey, but I still prefer the 10. It's like they should stop making the 17-year-old and just make more double Eagle Very Rare.
2020, yeah. They make a lot more money if they did, since that one's 20 years old and they sell it for $1 bajillion.
$3,000.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, anyway, as you guys know, Marco runs a bar here in Tucson called Nana's Kitchen, and it's a great place to go for a pour of whiskey or scotch or whatever, rum or alcohol. Tequila. They do a lot of tequila, beer,
gin, everything.
And wonderful Mexican food. He's not paying me to say this, but it's my favorite Mexican restaurant in town. Any chance I get, I go grab some lunch there because it's my favorite. So
it's always a pleasure to serve you and the family, man. And all those on the Discord and everybody, all you guys too. You guys have all been a pleasure to have around, and just awesome time whenever you guys all just meet up and surprise me and show me a good time. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all as well. I always have to give a little shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys. And always a good time when we meet up at Nana's and have some fun.
Bunch of whiskey geeks. Just like
so,
us.
What do we got? Glass one.
And you mix these around, right?
We have the same pours in the same order. So I mixed up my glasses and we poured from my glasses. So mine are labeled, his are not, but that's why he has a couple labels, whiskey Glens that have markings on them, like your drinking buddy on it. But
it has this.
I need a Nana's Glen.
It has this beautiful face that's on my back. What don't you do? Nana's and drinking buddy Glen. Rick.
I like it. Rick, come on.
Get to work, Rick. Dude, that tastes like Thomas Handy.
I think that might be a Thomas Handy. This one, just off the initial rip, is reminding me of the 2019 because I had that recently, and that one is very licorice and more spicy and more herbal than normal Thomas Handy.
But it also gives me that York mint candy type of flavor.
Okay.
Not that overbearing York mint, but that subtleness. And this is actually a Thomas Handy that I actually miss, because as they have progressed over time, I don't know what it is. They've begun to almost maybe fall off, or just the flavor profile has changed. This year's was chocolatey, very chocolatey.
I agree.
So
this one ain't. You're good.
Oh, put the mute. Forgot to do that.
This is actually got a little hint of that chocolate thing on it.
It does. That's why I said it tastes like the York mint chocolate. Because
you did say that.
It's not as overpowering, but it's got that licorice, slight anise flavor, and that it's herbaceous, but not overly. I think this is one of the more well-balanced Thomas Handys that I have not had in a while. But it has that nice citrus flavor to it too.
I would, definitely could see that, orange zest, lemon zest type vibes.
This one, not the first rye.
First rye. I'm very curious if we will find that to be true, that over time they taste a little bit more bourbon bourbony. Not that not that there's any shenanigans going on. I'm not saying that. It's still a rye. It's just it drinks like a bourbon drinker's rye on the last few batches for sure.
It does. It's. I don't know if it's the aging. I don't know if it's maybe a different spot in the rick house that they put it in. That's
maybe they're blending it to taste a little. And whoever blends it is a master.
And that's the thing. I'm actually wondering if they're, because Buffalo Trace has a big old vault of no good whiskeys. What are they doing with it? Are they starting to blend it to make more?
It's also possible that they could be the source of some of the unknown Kentucky sources.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really possible. And, you see those mash bills and you're like, where's that coming from? It could be Buffalo Trace. Think of how much whiskey they're pumping out.
And how much they're not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, now this has got a completely different nose. Like in a blind, I might consider these two completely different whiskeys.
We have the same ones lined up, right?
Yep. This is like brighter. This is like more citrusy, and this one's like.
I got orange peel for sure.
On this one too.
Yeah, but what I'm getting more so of is more like red apple.
I can definitely see that. I was going to say it's fruitier.
Apple Jacks.
I was going to say strawberry, but yeah, apple is definitely there. It's fruitier. It's fruitier. Yeah.
Mm. And this one smells a little bolder.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit more like that wet basement, like that wood, like dank wood, wet wood type vibes on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And this is red licorice for me. This is cherry candy red licorice.
There's the cherry. There's
those little
that's very fruity.
Old people strawberry candies, the ones in the little wrapper.
Oh, I love those.
That is like that's what I'm talking about with the newer Thomas Handys. I suspect that's one of the newer Thomas Handys because there's almost no rye notes for me on this rye, and whereas the first one drank more like a rye, whereas this is like it's bourbon. It's almost bourbon.
It has that touch of that mintiness of the rye that you get. But
that licorice thing, like the red licorice thing, is a touch of that like black licorice thing that you get on some ryes.
Yeah, so it's like that's perfect that you called it kind of more of like the strawberry that has that little filling inside the hard candy. Because I really do get that. I get that, but it's more just a bunch of different fruits. Some stone fruits are in there. The cherries
a little peachy. That's a fruity fruit bomb.
Mm-hmm.
We're 3 for 3 for whiskeys with completely different noses.
This one smells like Snickerdoodle?
I was going to say something baked. It's like cookie. It's like buttery. It's like
butterscotch.
Yeah,
but it's
Snickerdoodle is a great note because there's some cinnamon here, some sugar for sure.
Got the baking spices, but it's very like cookie dough of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. Like where you like, I would say that the cookie dough or like a raw like a flour note, not a flower note that you sometimes get on like the younger wheaters, especially.
Yeah,
is coming from it being a younger grain.
It's like you're getting the yeast.
Yeah, like the yeast and the fact that the grains are a little bit younger.
Yeah. It is 6 years old only.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
They never drink youthy.
No, they don't.
That's more in line with the Flirsh one, as far as flavor profile goes, where you're getting a little bit more.
I feel like it's actually a blend of the two.
I got, wow, that's good. Yeah, the cookie dough thing is there, too, which is funny.
This tastes like those thumbprint cookies. The ones with the raspberry.
Oh, okay.
That's what this tastes like to me. Is that what they're called, thumbprint cookies?
I'm not sure. I've had them, but I don't know what they're called.
It looks like something with fruit.
It's fruity. You're right. It's somewhere in the because it's fruity. It's black licorice. It's rye forward. There's a little mint here.
It's buttery. It's buttery. I'm telling you, it tastes like cookie dough with butter and all those notes you just mentioned, and it does have like that raspberry flavor. I'm getting a raspberry flavor to it. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever gotten that from Buffalo Trace.
That's really solid. It's really solid.
Maybe because my allergies have been acting up a bit.
Yeah, I would definitely say allergies have been terrible this month.
Yeah.
So
This one's very chocolatey.
I could see that.
This one's dark chocolate truffle.
I was going to say with caramel. So yeah, good call. Little brown sugar here too.
Almost getting a little scent of like sea salt.
If it wasn't for the chocolate,
Sea salt. Like
yeah,
the flavor you get of sea salt, caramel, you taste it. When you taste it, it's just like you could almost get the nose of that. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, like because it. I guess I would say it like some people would just call that like kind of savory.
See, this is very minty. It's not that it doesn't match the palate.
This is the mintiest one so far.
This is 100% rye.
This one drinks like a rye. This one drinks rye forward.
Out of all these, this gives you more of that rye note.
The most herbal so far.
Yeah, I'd almost say that you're actually pulling my leg and telling me this is a handy because it doesn't taste like a handy.
Hey, you watched me pour them.
I did. That I did. I did see him pour them. I actually helped them pour them.
This one to me is the most like rye spice forward so far. We haven't gone to the last one yet, right? This most rye spice forward so far. This one's the most herbal.
Yeah.
And then these two are fruity.
Yeah.
Really fruity. And this one does kind of tread the line of all four, where you got something from all of them on it, which might mean it's my favorite so far. I don't know.
Which one?
It's just the third one, just because it really gives you so much. But I like all four, so this is going to be hard.
Wow. Now this is taking me back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But this one may be a little bit more higher proof, maybe. But not that it's drinking hot, but it's giving me more of the flavors of like, we're going back to the mintiness of the rye, some lemon. That licorice note is in all of them.
Am I crazy, or like just off the initial rip, does that one drink dramatically worse than the other four?
It does. That's why I said I don't know if that one might be the highest proof, because I'm not too fond of this one right now. So far, the last two have not been something that I'm like, yeah.
I don't have it like a different tasting note for this one. It's more. Now this is the one that drinks the most, I think, bourbon forward. It's bourbon vanilla. It's brown sugar. It's cherry. It's got a little punch of rye spice at the end, but
it does.
Just off initial rip. Now this changes often when I go back through. Off initial rip, that one's the flattest.
Yeah, I would say that is the flattest. It's like something's fallen off on this one that's not. I don't even want to reach for it. Like, what is that?
I suspect that that's the 2024, and I just named it Whiskey of the Year.
I would say nothing. I would actually probably say the 2024 is probably the third one.
Maybe. I mean, that one did.
This might be. What was it? 2014 you said was in here too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might be that, because you got that as a sample, you said, right?
No, the 2014 I traded.
You have a bottle. Which one was the sample?
The samples were, there was two of them, because I poured the last of my 2022 bottle into a sample. That's that one. That's 2022.
Okay.
And then the 2019 is the other sample. And that one came courtesy of Brian from Chill Filtered. Thank you, Chill Filtered. So, and if you like Thomas Handy, I did just do an episode about Thomas Handy with the Chill Filtered boys. So I'll link that video in the description. Go check it out. It was very fun.
Brian's a cool dude.
Well, Brian wasn't in the video. I shouldn't say with the Chill Filtered.
No, I know. You filled in.
But yeah.
But I think I'm curious to see how much of that bottle he actually has left, because oxidation is a thing.
I am trying when I get low on a bottle to really finish it off. My next one I need to finish. Maybe you can help me out with that. I don't know if you're interested. It's my WLW 2022. It's getting pretty low. It's getting pretty low.
Oh man, I don't know. That whiskey. What is WLW again?
It's I think it's like a Scotch, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm going to pause real quick here. We're going to go back through these, and when we come back, we'll tell you. We'll try to rank them. It's hard to rank 5 things, but we'll do our best. Well, we've been deliberating for like at least a half an hour.
At the very least.
The fun part is, for the most part, we were just kind of like catching up, talking about life and stuff, but also like carefully thinking about the whiskeys. And I, about, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, I was like, I think this is where I'm at. And he's like, look at my glasses. And we pretty much have almost the same ranking without even like really saying it out loud.
Yeah. We weren't even focusing on each other's, like the way we set them up. So that's pretty much the same, except for the fact that he likes my least favorite more than the other.
Yeah. So that the main thing was the two in the back here, we really just didn't like as much, both of us. That was 2 and 4. They're still Thomas Handy. They're still great.
Yeah.
But compared to the 3 in the front, they fell off for me, especially Glass 2 for me. And it was Glass 4 for you, right?
Glass 4 for me, because that one was just more herbaceous. It's just like, it gave me almost 2-3 notes versus these other ones that gave me more. And this one was just more candy-like.
Yeah, this is the one that it's really weird because this is the one that I think initially I really enjoyed, but the second time through, the more I sip on it, there's just something on here that I just don't. I don't love. There's something on here I don't know what it is, but it's.
But just on the nose, right?
I actually like borderline don't like this whiskey at all on the nose, but I like it on the palate. It's just the weakest palate of the 5. But the nose has got something that's just like funky. I don't know what it is to say, but it's not my jam on the nose. Didn't pick it up initially, but the longer it sat in the glass, the longer whatever that funk is has just really taken over for me. So why don't we go my least favorite first, and then we'll go your least favorite. Okay. So my least favorite was the 2022. So Glass 2 was the 2022, 130.9. And Thomas Handy rarely goes over 130 proof. There's only been twice that Thomas Handy is going over 130 proof. And you said, maybe what I don't like about that one is it's the hottest. And you nailed it. You nailed it. It is the hottest. This is a absolutely beautiful whiskey to me. It was my first Thomas Handy. Maybe that sample bottle's done a little something to it. I don't know, because I did pour my last 2 ounces of the bottle in, well, it was my last 4 ounces of the bottle. I poured into 2 sample bottles for me and Brian. Maybe sitting in that sample bottle's affected it. I don't know.
Who knows? It's like oxidation, like I said earlier, really is a thing. Like if you get down to at least half the bottle, polish it off within the 6 months, just because you'll do yourself a disservice, because you'll lose a lot of flavor.
I do really like these with the metal cap and the glass bottle. I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, glass bottle, glass on glass is always better.
Yeah. The glass bottles with the plastic caps, I've done some investigating on this, and it just kind of seems to me like there's no regulation on it. So it's not necessarily food grade plastic on that lid. And so therefore you might or might not get a good product. So that's the hard part when it comes to sample bottles. So I generally say it's better to store it in a bottle probably than it is to store it in a sample bottle, due to the fact that there's just, do you know if it's good quality glass? Do you know if it's good quality plastic on the cap? A lot of them have the, I don't know if this does, nothing else. Yeah, and the metal's nice because there's no plastic part in there. How do you know that little plastic part that sits on top is food grade? You just don't. They're coming from.
Maybe even alter the flavor somehow.
There's a lot of people who say that sample bottles, after they've been stored for a long time, give them a marker note. That could be a plastic thing.
I mean, coming from, with my background where we used to go to Mexico and get bacanora in plastic containers, and they came out of a glass or something that's not plastic. When we go home and we drank it out of the plastic bottle, you tasted the plastic bottle.
Yeah, and who knows if
spirit.
Maybe that's why like a Jim Beam white label, something like that comes in a plastic bottle is acceptable, because the quality of the food of the plastic in the United States would be better. They would have higher standards. The FDA is going to require food grade plastic to be used on that. Who knows what's happening?
To be fair, it would be American water bottles we brought it into. So who knows? I just think plastic is horrible.
Yeah, I do. I generally agree. The only exception I would say is if we know that it's food grade, because a lot of whiskey, your whiskey before we get to it is going to be stored in plastic, food grade containers before it comes to us.
Trace uses metal totes.
Not everybody does.
No, not everybody.
All right, so that was our.
box.
So my least favorite was the 2022. My second least favorite, and your least favorite was the 2023. This is some wild results.
Okay.
So this is 124.9. So this was my whiskey of the year for 2023, and well, sort of. When I did my 2023 tournament, I didn't have the George T. Stagg available to me yet, but I was able to procure a bottle of George T. Stagg after the tournament. And when I put the Thomas Handy up against the George T. Stagg, I felt like it wasn't close.
Yeah.
So that's George T. Stagg technically is my whiskey of the year for 2023, but in the tournament, where you have all of these blinds to decide what's the best, the Thomas Handy didn't win.
Yeah.
So that should tell you how good these whiskeys are. Our second least favorite, one whiskey of the year for me in a double blind scenario. Well, I knew what whiskeys were in there, but the tournament was blind in a way that I had no idea what was in each round. I had no idea what made it to the next round, etc. I think it was 5 for me next.
5 for you next. That was your least favorite.
Third favorite.
Oh, third favorite.
Yeah. Was that the same for you?
Yeah.
Same? That was the 2014, the 129.2. And I would agree with this. I think that what I have seen out of my 2014 that I think I like that a little bit more. I'm sorry, the 2024 that we just cracked tonight, I had a sample from Buffalo Trace. I think that is a really good whiskey. I know some people weren't as big of a fan of it this year, but maybe just because it drinks a little off the profile for Thomas Handy. To me, if it's glass 3, glass 3 doesn't drink that rye forward to me. These two.
This is 2020.
I think you're probably right, and our favorite is the 2019. I think you're right. And your favorite's the 2019 too.
And I told you that 2019 was the best one earlier.
Yeah, and when I did it in the, this is the flavor profile that I got off of 2019 when I did the chill filtered episode. So this is how you know if I am full of crap or not. Because if this is not the 2019, I'm probably full of crap.
Same.
So
am I.
Our second favorite was the 2024 127.2, which means our favorite was the 2019 125.7. That is just.
Told you. That one reminded me of 2019. I remember that one. That was.
I got to give a little shout out to Cole here because I'm going to send this video to him. I'm really curious what he thinks of this because we just drank this in the flight and he immediately, after we drank this one, he poured some 2024 and he's just like, yeah, I just don't like that whiskey. And I think that compared to the 2019, I could see that because this is a really special bottle. But it's still, I love it. It like smashed these other three for me. Like, I don't know. It's so freaking good. It's so good.
This has a lot of the same characteristics as my Jack Daniels. The Nana's First Rye.
I agree.
Has a lot of it. I actually was still bet against this with our Jack Daniels Nana's Rye, the First Rye. I think that one has a lot more body to it, but it's also 137.7 proof. And it's also a year older.
Yeah, definitely what I would recommend to you guys as viewers of this, if you can't get Thomas Handy, that's okay. Just never pass up a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof store pick. Don't do it. Don't pass that up. If you walk past that in the liquor store, you have no reason to complain that you can't get Thomas Handy because the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye store picks are often better than Thomas Handy. And I can say I have 3 bottles over here because I have 2 of your pick. I have 3 bottles over here that are better than most Thomas Handys. The other one that I would say is it's not your, so your 2 picks are there. And then the other one is a hero selection from the base. That is better than a lot of Thomas Handys. That is a beautiful whiskey. Yeah. Do not pass up Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye picks. You will not be disappointed. The other whiskey that I think can come close to this is the Old Forester single barrel proof rye.
Yeah, and that comes out twice a year.
And is a lot easier to get than Thomas Handy.
Yep.
What are some other ones that are good alternatives? I would say Hard Truth, cask strength picks. Hard Truth, cask strength, ryes. They have a couple different rye mash bills, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm. I like Nulu. The double cask.
Nulu can be.
Oak, sorry.
So I would only caution Nulu because Nulu is the 95.5 out of MGP, so it can be very herbal. so it doesn't line up quite with this.
No,
but I'm a
it's still
big
beautiful rye.
Exactly. I'm basically out on MGP ryes that are not very old or finished. You know, they're just they're too herbal for me. They're a little too, and they're often expensive.
Yeah.
But if you can get them at older age, or you can get them finished, I'm all in. You guys need to book a flight, come down here to Tucson, Arizona, come to Nana's Kitchen, and
or if you live on the east side, just drive.
If you did this,
Like my
you could.
Phoenix people.
You just leave a comment down below. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Tucson, and I want to hang out with you. I'll try to make it happen. I will. I promise you. I have for some people. I have. The only time I didn't, I had some people who told me it was just a little bit too late. They told me they were coming down for Thanksgiving, and I was like, I'm going to try to make Black Friday happen. I will do my best, and it just didn't work out. Don't sleep on Nana's Kitchen, and don't sleep on I don't know, your drinking buddy. The way to not sleep on your drinking buddy is to click the like button before you go. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And thank you for watching.
No. Be a channel member. Literally, guys, seriously. I'm a channel member. It's $3.23 a month. And just watching this community with what they do for each other, it's the way it should be. Like, I have not seen, like, every time they come, it's at least, if we organize it, it's at least 20 people. And the majority of them drive from Phoenix. Eastsiders, they drive from Phoenix.
I will go ahead and throw one out there that happened recently. You know, like there were some really good drops. I won't say the retail location where a bunch of drops happened. And a couple of us, because we're in the know, we have the Discord, we're able to get to said retail location before anyone else. And several of us walked away with a lot of Blanton's Gold, and I wouldn't expect him to do this all the time, but a very, very nice one of the channel members was like, hey, if anyone wants one of these Blanton's Gold, you just give me what I paid for it plus shipping, and it's yours. And those things don't happen those things happen regularly.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a pretty tight-knit community. Like, we help each other out, you know?
Can we say his name or not?
And I don't know if he wants...
No.
I don't know if he wants to be the guy who hey, I joined the Discord. Hey, how come you won't ship me a Blanton's Gold?
That's true. I'll just
I did my part.
People like
he's
him,
amazing, though.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and he knows who he is.
Several other people. There's just been... I have not seen such a community take care of each other. You guys will see, you'll have... I don't care where you live. They'll ship you, including... our drinking buddy here. We'll send you samples of whatever. Contests. It's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
So I try not to participate because then I'll feel like I'm cheating.
No, you're in. You participate. Well, if you won, what I would end up doing...
I'm in the Discord.
If you won, what I would end up doing is give you the samples and then probably pick somebody else too. So I'd end up having to do double.
No, but I would rather somebody else be able to partake. But it's a lot of fun. It's really a really, really good community. Sign up. You'll enjoy yourself, I promise.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
I'm your drinking buddy.